how are you?
How are you?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay. This video, I'm going to take this video for academic purpose. And for sure, I will be submitting this video and it will be evaluated. Once it will be evaluated, it's only for academic purpose. Are you okay with that?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay. What is the branches the US government has?
The US government has 3 branches: legislative, judicial, and executive.
Okay. Oh, do you know which each branch does?
I know legislative, make law, executive, enforce law, legislative, makes law function.
Okay. Yeah, you're about. Okay, Democratic and Republic are the major parties in the United States. Can you name a third party?
I know that US have the 2 major parties, but the third, I'm not sure, maybe it's minor party, but I'm not sure.
Oh, you're okay. You are. It's okay. It's fine. How do you know how a bill becomes a law?
I'm not sure.
Oh, it's fine. That's fine. Okay.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine.
Oh, I would like to ask you some questions regarding to United States government. Okay. What are the 3 branches of United States government?
If I remember well, the 3 branches of the United States government are legislative, there is the executive, and the judiciary. Yeah.
Which are the all of these 3 governments, how they do, how they work, their function? You know, are you aware of that?
Yeah, I can try a little. Yeah, the executive branch deals with executing or implementing laws, and I think the legislative branch deals with making laws.
Okay. In the state of America, there are 2 major parties.
Yeah.
Can you name the third party?
Yeah, the third party, I think it involves those other parties that are non-governmental, such as Green Party. I think.
Okay. Do you know how the process of how a bill becomes a law?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Oh, it's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome back to this presentation. I'll thank to my interviewers that they were talking about the government, the US government. So I'll thank you very much. My name is Felix, and let me explain some of the questions that they failed to respond to answer. Starting from the first question, what are the 3 branches of the government in the United States? There are 3 branches of the government, which are legislative, executive, and judicial. So, legislative branch is a deliberative assembly with the authority to make law for a political such as country or a city. So their members, they have 2 members like Senate and the Representative Committee, and their function is they have authority to make laws for the nation, and also the Congress is head of legislative activity. The second is the executive branch. The executive branch is the branch of the government responsible for implementing, supporting, and enforcing laws. So their members, of course, include president, vice president, the cabinet, executive department, independent agency, and the other border commissioners and committees. They have function of the president is the commander-in-chief of the army. He has the power to grant pardons, to make treaties, appoint federal judges, ambassadors, and other public officers of the United States. They are there to conduct foreign affairs. It formulates and execute the governmental policies, and also he is the one that controls. The executive branch is controlled by the Congress. Third, let us understand the judicial branch. The judicial branch decide if laws is constitutional. In addition, they can overturn law rulings by other judges. The member of judicial branch includes Supreme Courts and judges. Their function is to decide the meaning of laws, deciding how to apply laws in real situations. They evaluate laws to see if it doesn't break the rules of constitution, and also the Supreme Courts are in charge of deciding cases that may differ from the US Constitution. The second question, how these three branches is interconnected. So normally these three branches is interconnected since they deal with laws, even if it's in different ways. This is because the legislative can suggest laws where the judicial branch can judge the laws or evaluate laws to see if it cannot break the rule of constitution before admitted. After all of this process, the law is presented to the executive branch to be accepted. How branches regulate each other? They are acting. Normally, they are acting oneself, but they are working together to complement each other, and some of them act in its own authority. For example, the legislative branch they're there to pass the laws or passing laws, or of course override presidential votes with 2/3 votes in each house. The executive branch are there, like president is in chief of commando in the army, so they act in its own authority, and also they interconnect each another. So while judicial branch decide the case that may differ from US Constitution, you see, it's somehow having its own authority, and therefore all of these branches control each other in terms of developing the country or the city or the state, of course. What are the political parties in the United States? There are two major political parties and also the third parties. The two major political parties that are dominant in United States are Republican and Democratic Party, and it is them that participate in all elections, but the third party doesn't participate in the elections. So the third parties are known also as the minor parties. The minor political party doesn't play a greater role in election, as I said previously. So how did two-party system start? So the first two-party started in US. Was Federalist and Democratic Republican. This was represented the different ideas about government and different political and different population group, whereby Federalists were supported by New England merchants and bankers, while Democratic Republic were supported by farmers, laborers, shopkeepers, etc. In 150th century, Democrats and Republicans have remained the two major parties in the United States. Furthermore, plus slavery, voters stayed in Democratic Party. The Democratic Party, where they promote a social liberal, social democratic and progressive platform, while wings and anti-slavery Democrats formed the Republic Party. So the Republic Party is founded by slavery actives in 1854. So this is how these two major parties formed and become two major parties in the United States of America. Impacts of minor parties on national politics. The minor parties have risen to challenge the two major parties several times in the United States history. This means that a third party candidate that never won a presidential election, however, they have affected the outcomes of previous election and influenced government and social policies. The last question, it's have complicated my interview, the person I interviewed, and it was asked what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law, or how does a bill becomes a law. So a bill to become a law, it passes through many processes. First of all, a bill is presented to the House by a representative who becomes its sponsor, and it is received a legislative number. After this, it is calendared for subcommittee action like debate, amendment, and committee votes on a bill. If a bill is voted in the House, it is sent to the Senate. The House of the Senate members together discuss Senate voters to the bill, and after this, it's sent to the presidential for consideration. Therefore, at this point in the presidential, when it is sent to the president, at this point, the president may approve the bill, vote the bill, he signs it, and it becomes a law. Otherwise, the bill dies and goes back to where, or in its original legislative, where it comes from. So it can pass there, it is accepted to be passed to the second session. This is all about the government, the US government, and how knowing more how a bill becomes a law. Thank you for your attention. Have a nice day.